So we're out here on a floodplain river, and that means that there's lots of loose gravel that gets blown around a lot during high water. And the problem with that is that the water will shift. A lot of times you'll come and there'll be a gravel bar where there wasn't. Back during the floods 15 years ago, 20 years ago, we had some high water move literally so much gravel that it deposited where there used to be a 10-15 foot deep pool. Now suddenly there was a raised gravel bar above the river 15 feet. So that's a 30 feet difference just from high water with this loose shingly kind of gravel. Now, when it's high water on these kinds of rivers, it's exceptionally difficult to find structure where fish have to be. If you look out here, it's a big wash of river, and the push of the river is coming around the bend and just pushing against the far shingly gravel bank. Now, my money says that a fish isn't going to sit there and swimming. I mean, it's like you can pick your favorite Olympic swimmer. They're not going to sit there day after day after day after day swimming hard. What they're going to do is go and look for areas broken current. And prime one is right in front of us. There's a distinct color change from a light brown to a deeper green blue right below it. And it's a subtle little shelf like that right in front of it. They're not going to be across, they're going to be right here. Now, the tip off, well, I'm looking for that current break, and that's a classic trout current break. I've seen a couple fish rise there. That's the other clue. So what I'm going to do is come along here. I've got I don't have to have a 12-foot leader. This is a classic spot. Water clarity is only about 2 feet of visibility. I've got a little stimulator, and about a foot below that, I've just got a little pheasant tail nymph, about a size 12, because there's lots of Sally stoneflies. There's the odd March brown still. There's mahogany dun mayflies. A whole bunch of stuff that's in that kind of size 12, 14, 16 range. I'll start off with a 12, get it in there, and I'm just gonna play the seam coming off of that that shelf in the gravel shelf there. And I'm pretty sure I'll at least get a take. I'm not sure if I'm gonna land anything, but I'm pretty dang sure I'm gonna get a take or two. Let's go find out. You don't always catch big fish on these kinds of things. Sometimes there's some 16, 20 inches sitting there, sometimes not. Hey, that was fun. Now, a little point I want to point out there, you saw me hand land that fish. Much easier with little fish, just to grab your leader and just glide your fingers down and kind of create a little hole like that and just cradle that little fish and just grab hold of that nymph. And just cradle that thing, just not a death grip, just cradle it. It's just like you can feel it wiggling like that in your hand. Well, that's okay, you know, just let it do that thing. And that way you can kind of get it under control. Because if you net that fish, guarantee your dry flies now in the mesh, fish will pop off the nymph, and now you're gonna spend the next 15 minutes, okay, 5 minutes, mussing around with flies that are embedded in your net. So just run your hand down, just cradle that fish, flip it over, grab your fly, pop it, and just quick release it back into the water. So a little bit bigger fish than the last one. Argument could be made that you could use a net. In my case, I've got a really deep net on my back, so I chose to hand land that one again. Same principle, grab the line up here, run it down, and just keep a taut line, and then just roll your hand underneath the fish, cradle it, come and flip it upside down, and that'll immobilize the fish, kind of stun it, relax it, and that'll give you time just to flip your fly and let the fish go. It's that simple. So after a whole bunch of casts and drifts, I knew that there had to be one good fish in there, and that tungsten dropper nymph just right off that shelf, and we were able to pull out that really nice rainbow, which just proves that in high water, on those inside shelf gravel shelves and seams, that's the place where those fish are going to be in there, trying to avoid fighting the current and just sitting in the lowest current possible and feeding to get themselves through the high water.